Hello, happy Tuesday. Hello, CM Eldondo. Pitt's mom, I've not watched Oak Island in quite some time. I need to catch up. I'm way behind. Way behind, but I'm assuming they haven't found a treasure yet. Hello, Jay and Amy. Let's see. The United States Department of the Treasury expands sanctions on Iran's missile and drone procurement networks. Whoa, top of the news I already have on Iran for today. Think they are setting up the next big change in value. We'll talk about it when we get to that article. Hello, Jason. Hello, Sissy. Hello, Eagle Claw. Hello, Green Tea. Happy birthday. Hello, Gary Treebeardier. I don't know what to tell you, Treebeard. My schedule doesn't leave much time to do it. That's the biggest reason I don't do Telegram. I don't have the time, folks. Not for a lack of a want, just don't have the time. Hello, Eeyore. Hello, Red Rider. Whoa, secret identity. What would normally take me 8 minutes to get to work took 37 today. Oh, snow and ice. Now, you guys can keep that. Happy Tuesday, Kathy. Hello, Stellar. Whoa, it's just ripping. It just going past. Hello, Hoops. Hello, Grumpy. Hello, Miss Little. Let's see. Funny. St. Louis gets a winter storm warning for 4 to 6 inches of snow. Colorado gets a winter weather advisory for 3 to 6 inches or 3 to 6 feet. Wonder which one. Hello, Robert. Hello, Ella. Hello, Pam and Kevin. Hello, Michael. Good to see you live. Good to see you live as we wrap up 2025. It's a good time to slow down and reflect on the year. If there's one thing we've all learned, it's that uncertainty isn't temporary. It's the world we live in now. Waiting for things to go back to normal isn't a plan. It's a gamble. For over a decade, my friends at Noble Gold Investments have helped Americans protect themselves and the people they love by diversifying their wealth with gold and silver. Look, no one knows what 2026 will bring, but one thing's for sure. In an uncertain world, real wealth isn't digital, it's physical, it's lasting, and it's yours. So when you're sitting around the table this holiday season, surrounded by family, remember the best gift you can give isn't under the tree, it's peace of mind. And that's what Noble Gold delivers, peace of mind, 1 ounce at a time. Before the year ends, take one smart step toward a safer future. You can visit them at MarkZgold.com or NobleGoldInvestments.com and get your free wealth protection kit today. That is NobleGoldInvestments.com or MarkZgold.com. Don't leave your future to chance. Have you guys been watching copper? Holy smokes. Metals are having a bit of a heyday, to say the least. Wait, what's this one? Happy birthday to Pearl. Happy birthday, Pearl, Tracy. Miss Ferguson. Tom, good to see you. Let's see. We got over 13 inches of snow, and it's now 1 degree. Gotta love Iowa winters. Woo! Danny, don't know how you do it. Ugh. That's cold. All right. Before we forget, or before I forget, video for all of you folks that want to change your handle on YouTube. I'm not even going to take the time to post it anywhere but YouTube in the chat. Ellen of Petrichor Ranch did a video on it. Said, go to let's see, how to change your YouTube name. Even gives a spot where you can click it and go straight to it. For any of those that are trying to figure that one out. There, it's been shared. Ice and snow in West Virginia. Single mom sleeping in car with 2 kids. Oh, geez, Melissa. Oh, sending prayers. Too many in that position. Freezing in SoCal 44. Reading a few silver 5809 on AP Mex. Just look at it run. Aaron Jones celebrating a birthday. Happy birthday. Hello, KMK. Oh, no. KMK had to put down her 16-year-old dog down yesterday. That is a tough one, but happy birthday on your birthday today, KMK. 6 inches of snow in Sycamore, British Columbia, Canada. What's the weather down here? Afraid you're going to be mad at me. I don't know. It's what, 81 out there, I think. Who else? Granny Joe, birthday, 60. How old? 67. Mackenzie, 11 today. See if I can find that one and click it. Happy birthday. I know I'm going to miss some. That's life, I'm afraid. It is ripping past. Surfer's wife celebrating her 60th. I just saw that one. 5 inches of snow in Mason, Ohio. Don't know if I'm going to be able to keep up with it. 81 degrees isn't bad. It's a beautiful time of year. I highly suggest anybody that can winter down here. Surprisingly affordable. Uh-oh, wait, slow this down. Ross, back in the hospital for kidney infection. Sending prayers, Greg. So she can get out of there and go home. 34 degrees, 21-mile-an-hour winds. I don't know if I can take all this one. In a jaw-dropping announcement, President Trump disclosed that George Soros and Reid Hoffman are funding Antifa and the left-wing violence against ICE. It'd be accurate. Riot Inc. Jay Branch, they're not trading at those numbers yet. Reading through them, I know it's about time to dive in. It's 8 minutes after. Let's see, I'll take 6-inch snow over hot and humid. Shovel snow. We're not as humid down here as folks are in the South, in the States. Laney, thank you. Just because. Kathy checking in from upstate New York. Window hasn't changed, Stuart, based on what I am hearing. Keeping in mind that nobody really knows the timing. We are guessing at it, and so are the folks in country, out of country, groups. Chemo Sabi finally figured out the settings for the screen name. Good. Chet, good to see you. Mississippi, Bernard, let's see. HCL has not passed yet. That one's so easy. We've seen pieces and parts of it passing, but the puzzle's not finished yet. It's probably time to jump into those things. What did I miss here? Kevin Hassett will be leading the Fed, it looks like. I very much believe that they are holding Judy Shelton for Treasury when it is time and not Fed. I think she gets a superior position. That's my belief. Triple Daughter, I lost hope in a lot of them a long time ago, and started just putting my faith in the fundamentals because I can see what's happening. It's going to go. Reset's going to happen whether they want it to or not. I certainly am no longer counting on some white hats humanity. Maybe they have it. I just haven't seen any evidence. So until I see some evidence, I'm not going to believe them. I know I'm upsetting people on that one, huh? Just being very, very real. Ruth Ann, what's taking HCL so long? That's an easy one. There's a lot to get done, and they've gotten a lot of it done, and they laid out a plan. They told you what they had to get done, and we're watching it. What's Lily Pad sharing before I dive into the UN Security Council stuff? Former EU foreign policy chief and ex-top diplomat Federica Mogherini has been arrested on fraud charges. Boy, isn't there a shocker? Not. Tomorrow, wait, let's find this one. When they say tomorrow, that means today. This article came in later yesterday. UN Security Council holds a meeting on the situation in Iraq. When they mean the situation, guys, it is an update to the UNAMI. They are having a meeting today, presently, right now in New York, started at 10 a.m. New York time. So we're, 11 minutes in if they started on time. They are discussing finishing, closing, removing the United Nations presence to help rebuild Iraq. In other words, complete. Another one of those things we were told when it was complete, we got paid, we left. So when I see these announcements, it is the checklist, and they just keep checking it off, which is very good news for anybody that's paying attention. What's next? U.S. Deputy Secretary of State. This is yesterday, right, guys? Meetings have been ongoing yesterday. I don't have an update yet. We talked about this one on yesterday. But what do we have? We have Deputy Secretary of State in Baghdad. We have the envoy in Baghdad. We have the UN meeting on the Security Council going on in New York right now. All this around Iraq. This is very, very interesting timing when it's all coming together at once. Speaking of which, Evergreen. Oh, I thought it was Evergreen in the background. The decision to activate the pre-declaration system will come into effect. Remember I talked about this yesterday, how they had postponed until December 31st, the complete implementation of their new system, which will change how money moves across borders in Iraq. I didn't have all the facts yesterday. I knew that they were still implementing on 4. They are implementing it in pieces throughout the month. So it is fully up and running by December 31st. This also forces, like I mentioned yesterday, you have a lot of US dollars buying dinar off the street right now, which is a very desired effect if you're about to revalue. But it is moving. Once this is complete, it is my belief that they have to have the new system done, value, banking, etc., for it to be fully implemented. And we're watching the implementation occur. Rafidan Bank granting about 55 billion dinar to Riyadh initiative through 41 installments. What does that mean? This is part of their white paper reforms where they were going to free up capital for private business so that they could increase revenues in the state, taxes, etc., so they didn't need as much oil sales or as many oil sales, and they weren't as dependent on oil prices. This is more of that checklist for those white paper reforms. We're watching them. Boom, boom, boom. Ministry of Reconstruction and Development confirms its adherence to the Sudanese candidate to Sudani. He gains more and more support daily. This really should be done in the very near future. I don't think it's that important because the value is going to change either way. But for those that are worried about more stability in Iraq, you're going to get it, meaning you're going to get Sudani back. All indications show us that right now. Now, on that front, we have been watching that implementation as they figure out. They're working on the 2 months back for salaries. They've been catching up. They had to clean up the My Account system so that they could go there. These are all steps for the final full implementation of HCL. Just watch it. They are doing it right in front of your eyes, folks. We got more. I'm going to turn off the news banner, though. This is the one that I now believe very much so they are positioning to be the next great money grab. Iranian Rial continues to collapse against the dollar. Iran has the resources, they have etc. They need a stable government. And I can only imagine how many nations around the world want to step in, pick up the bones of that thing and rebuild because of the wealth. Almost makes me feel like it was Kuwait first, then it was Iraq, then I think it's going to be Iran. What do you think's coming after that? It's become kind of a playbook for governments around the world and the wealthy to take advantage of. What do you guys think on my theory? So watch this one now. $1 will buy, where are we at? 1.19 million reals, stabilizing at that against the dollar. $1. So if you folks are out there buying any Iranian currency, remember $1 will buy over 1 million Iranian Rial. Andy is joining, but he is coming in early, so we have to adjust the news time. Andy is joining at 10 a.m. sharp because he can't stay as late. So just be prepared for that, folks. But we finally get the return of Andy Scheckman. My bankers always know first. Is JP Morgan moving its precious metals trading desk to Singapore? The ultimate warning shot. We have more and more folks, more and more experts diving into the information, and it very much does appear JP Morgan is abandoning the U.S. and going to Singapore. What does that mean? I don't know. Wonder if it's JP Morgan trying to avoid prosecution. I wonder if he's going to get there and refuse to leave, or Jamie Dimon or some of his trading desk. We do know that the trading desks, well, how many more of them need to go to jail for corruption and manipulating the prices of metals from their desk? I find this one to be very, very interesting in the timing right now, especially when we look at all the other things coming apart. Like this, Evergrande, Chinese property market on the verge of a fresh collapse as bank bonds implode. China Bank, the embattled Chinese real estate giant that rattled markets last week after it became the first state-backed property developer to request a delay in a bond payment, reignited fears of the Chinese real estate sector's financial health. We've been watching the bonds in Japan. We've been watching the banks failing in China, real estate developers failing in China. Its fundamentals are forcing the conclusion of this event. Dave War Turtle, I appreciate that. Thank you. Uh, 1963. I'm a little behind in the video, but it's not a theory. I think your playbook's 1,000% accurate. I very much do. And at this point, I think it's time to stop fighting them and just take advantage of them for now. Super cycles, commodity super cycles, as you watch your metals move. Copper hits record high. Goldman warns a circular melt up is now driving a global market. Well, driving the global market. Copper futures on the LME broke out of the post-Thanksgiving trading range into record high territory, a massive tariff-driven scramble for supplies. Again, the world is trying to get something it can taste, touch, eat. It wants something physical, and metals are enjoying it. There are some aggravating factors or contributing factors in this one. A lot of them are taking advantage of arbitrage and manipulated prices to buy it and then move it to the U.S. before tariffs kick in. It's forcing us to pay attention to the fundamentals. This is really, as you're watching it unfold. Let's see, Mark, you made my wife Lori's birthday yesterday. She was listening, didn't know how you knew. You shouldn't have told her. Oh, I like that one. Reading a few of these, taking a moment to catch up with you all, and then I'll keep going. Yeah, copper, electronics, new technologies. Copper is going to be very important. Hassett appears to be leading the charge for a new Fed chief to take Powell's place. And we have, guys, we have results. Bowler fans, yesterday was bowling day. Any guesses on my score? Scores before I post the results. Here's your chance. Danny, no bond update. Just like I mentioned yesterday, I did not expect one at the earliest until late this evening because of meetings. Nobody I had any updates or meetings scheduled yesterday or today until late today. See, rumors tell Iranians told in Iraq to do whatever Trump wants because Iran water supply is down to 8%, plus Maduro's no deal invasion coming ASAP. Those are the rumors that Trump, Maduro had a conversation. Trump's like, look, all you can do at this point is flee. We'll let you leave the country and go into seclusion, but you're going to have to leave. We don't need to cut any deals. We don't need to negotiate. Now, that one's kind of troubling to me because it's a whole regime change thing, and we can't declare war unless Congress declares war. So how is that going to play out in Venezuela? I'm finding the developments going on right now very interesting. Very interesting. Oh yeah, let's just on the whole Nightbot thing. The Nightbot's not going anywhere. I will start removing mods before I remove the Nightbot. Let me be absolutely crystal clear. The Nightbot there is to protect the people in chat. It's not to take the mods' jobs. If the mods can't support it, they can leave. Period. No more conversations. I will just start removing them. Period. It is non-negotiable. Did I mention that? Period. I don't know. Have you folks found Rial? It goes legal, illegal to sell it, legal to have it, illegal to have it, back and forth. Now, it's not to be mean on the Nightbot. The Nightbot protects you guys. It's going to be on all the platforms so that we can punch in if there's any kind of restrictions, NDAs, etc., can go in there. Plus, it doesn't care whether it likes you or dislikes you. It has very set restrictions. It doesn't think outside of it. It just removes those. It doesn't care if it's had a bad day. Doesn't care if you've had a bad day. It looks at total number of caps, total number of emojis, and removes them. Totally agnostic, unlike moderators, who some of them have a good day, some of them have a bad day. It's part of being human. All right, on to the coppers. We watched the melt up. Fundamentals, fundamentals, fundamentals. Yeah, Sharon, it really has. It's one of those 99% of the people have loved the Nightbot because it doesn't care and have a bad mood. US dollar. Visualizing declining purchase power of the U.S. dollar. The U.S. dollar has steadily lost value over the past century. According to Federal Reserve data, the purchasing power of $1 a day is equal to just a few cents in 1913. I am including this article just for you guys. Karen, the little black dot is the pull on the fan. Only a few of you have noticed it or mentioned it. I do get a kick out of it, though. Do I have a bowling guess? I don't have a bowling guess. I don't know what to tell you, bowler. Mark, some of them do, some of them don't. All right, moving on. Oh, wait, we were still here on the declining purchasing power. Guys, I wanted to bring this in to point out the fundamentals, and this is the fundamentals in a fiat currency, and this is why it is always cyclical, always a super cycle. As you continue to hypothecate money, print money, overspend money, you're going to always have this problem, and it's going to be inflation, or as Voltaire said, fiat always returns to its intrinsic value of zero. This is a cycle you're watching. We went from worth old school dollar to worth 2 or 3 cents in that 100 years or so, roughly 110 years. Normally, they make it close to 100 years. So we're already past our expiration date. This is why I keep screaming about the fundamentals. If you follow the fundamentals, You will not be nearly as worried about whether this thing is ever going to actually happen or not, because the fundamentals tell you it is going to happen, period. And there's your fundamentals as it returns, as it's down to only 2 or 3 cents left. So if you're looking at like a measuring stick, or if you're looking at like a hourglass and the sand running out of it, and you've got, do I have a dollar bill? Let's see if I got a dollar bill on me. Now picture this before the reset. You have to get to close to nothing left. So we got a dollar. Now picture a little marker on it. This is 100% of a dollar. And right now we've gone all the way over to here. And there's only about, like, maybe I can even put it up here. There's only like little strip of dollar left. And then you have to reset. So if you're looking for like a measuring stick of where we're at in this reset, think of it that way. Think of it as the hourglass, and it has been running through it, and there's only this much left in it. Of course, that's the one that always seems to take longer, but it's not actually taking longer. It just feels it because you're so close. All right, mods, take your fights out of the chat. Nearly half of U.S. truck driving schools don't comply with federal rules. Review finds 44%. English standards, training standards, 44%. This one was a scary one. I just put it on there because we have so many in this community in the trucking industry, and I wanted to get your thoughts. And then we're going to move on to Russia proclaims final victory over key city of Pokrovsk on eve of Putin-Witkoff peace plan meeting. Russia finally and formally announced Monday its forces have captured the city of Pokrovsk in the eastern Ukraine. Why am I bringing this one up? We're getting closer and closer to a settlement in the Ukraine-Russia conflict. Ukraine is finally starting to wake up to the fact, or should I say, Europe is waking up to the fact that there just aren't enough body bags and space left to fill of Ukrainians before they have to send their own people. I know that sounds bad. But it's like I've said before, the globalists will fight the Ukraine-Russian conflict until there are no more Ukrainians left. And it is only because of their dislike or their need to have a boogeyman, in my opinion. I mean, we could get into a lot more over it, but I'm not saying Russia's perfect here in any way. But it has been atrocious to watch this evil. Atrocious to watch it. So the realities on the ground continue. Ooh, sorry about that noise. Somebody's noisy out there. Sounds good, though. Pfizer mRNA influenza vaccine failed in the clinical trial among seniors. Yep, it's not getting approved. And Pfizer can't quite figure it out. They're just saying, hey, you know, the data shows it just doesn't work. So we're not going to approve it. Isn't that kind of a neat thing? Presently, they're requiring hard data to show something works before they approve it. That is a change. That's one that had me excited. Sherry, sorry, call dropped. If you talked about this or review talk, have a lot of precious coins on paper. Is that going to crash? I don't understand when you mean you have a lot of precious coins on paper. Meaning, do you physically have them in your possession? You have to be a little more clear on that one if I'm going to give you any thoughts or opinions. The other one to talk about today, we've got a lot of extra time today. We can talk about what you guys want if you want. UK man arrested for posing with gun in a photo taken while in the US. He was visiting friends in Florida. Took a photo with a gun. Went on his social media. Even went shooting. You know, firearm sports. He's sitting out there on the homestead. Comes back to England to get arrested. The police shaking him down about these violence and free speech. He had to go to court to prove that the pictures were taken outside of the UK where it was legal. I mean, stop, drop, think about this. Pictures. And even when he told them and offered evidence, they still made him go to court. And then they dropped it. I guess they saw how absurd it was once it got there. how do I pose that question? Is the UK, do they think enough like America, meaning do they value freedom enough? Do they value sovereignty enough, individual rights enough for us to even consider them an ally anymore? I know that sounds harsh, but the US historically would ally itself with countries that we believed had the same set of values. I know this has gotten very, very convoluted in recent history as we've had some, well, associations with some countries that I don't think match our what we say our mindset is, that we believe in, God, freedom, etc., individual rights. It makes me wonder why we are still even allies with the UK, because they are crapping over individual rights left and right. Yeah, they still fund a king too. Yeah, right. Think about it. It is so anti freedom. That was one of the things where historically it was because we liked freedom and we were allies to people that liked freedom, fought for freedom. But I question now whether we have anything in common with them. I know that sounds harsh. And we have so many awesome people in our community from England. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you guys are holding up with what is going on in the UK. Or should I say, okay, let me rephrase. Somebody brought up a good point. We still love the English people. We still love the people from the UK, but your government no longer fits. It's kind of like I've said it before. Radical Islam doesn't work with Western ideology, doesn't work with freedom, sovereignty, etc. Sharia law will never be compatible. Just not. Sorry. Be offended. So that globalist mindset is just never going to be compatible. And if their government's going to have that mindset, then I don't think we really have anything to keep discussing. Other than we'd like to have you freedom loving people here. Thoughts on Costco suing Trump over tariffs? I don't blame them. But they're not really suing Trump over tariffs. What they're doing is, if tariffs are found to be illegal when the Supreme Court does it, if they're saying that Trump didn't have the power to put in those tariffs, then they just want a refund. That's all they're looking for. Then they never should have paid him if he didn't have that power, which is going to put more pressure on the Supreme Court because there's going to be dollars they're going to have to give up too. Ultimately, I don't think Costco's getting any money back because I believe his tariffs are legal, constitutionally speaking. Raul, soon Sharia law will be the law of the land in the UK. They would love to do it here. Eagle Claw, UK has gotten so ridiculous it could only be a movie, but what would be a conspiracy theory, right? But that would be a conspiracy theory. It would be. I'm blown away. Just blown away. Let's see. Mark, report by Frank that the CBI submitted a new rate to the IMF for approval, holding any water. Joe, I very much believe the CBI has submitted a new rate to the IMF. Do I have any hard proof of that? No. Do I believe? Have I heard enough connected people tell me yes? And we're just simply waiting for the release. I very much believe that. Don't know who he heard it from, but I have heard it from a couple of sources. So I think it's accurate. Yeah, Daisy, I've wondered that. Is Trump actually posting as El Donaldo Trump or some of the parody accounts, if you will? Any thoughts on EBS? I keep hearing that it's going to happen. I don't know when. It all goes at the same time. Some of these comments are epic, and I just can't highlight them. Stephanie, prior to 1913, U.S. relied upon tariffs. President McKinley used them. They've been used throughout world history. Many other countries still use them today to offset, so they don't have to pay a much lower income tax or any income tax at all. Still used around the world. Many of the countries that were screaming at the U.S. about using them still use them. Well, I shouldn't say many. I'd say all. Toto, all. It's only bad because we started using them too, and now it's a level playing field. Could we be waiting on the BIS announcements on Thursday? We could be. That being said, guys, we don't know the timing. Texas artist belief. UK was overtaken 10 years ago, visited England, and there were burqas everywhere. I believe in religious freedom. I do. I just do not find some religions to be compatible. So the best thing you can do is everybody chooses where they're going to stay instead of going somewhere else and trying to change it to what you're leaving. That is so illogical. I don't like the oppressive regime and the oppressive religions in these countries. So I'm going to leave and bring them with me to the other countries so that I have the same crap hole. Just really doesn't make any sense logically. Somebody failed the common sense litmus test on that one. Let's see. GOP news conference on Fox about money, fraud stolen by various criminal groups. We'll see what they got to say. Government cameras everywhere. We're getting that way in the States. We're just getting there slower. We've got this like last hoorah, or I shouldn't say last, a pushback. And I have a theory on that one. I know. More theories. More theories. This is not religious. It's pedos and abusers. I think that is a whole lot of it. I'll very much agree with you on that one. Same logic of the left who leave blue states and vote the same way when they get to a red state. Dr. It really is. You know, they flee New York to go to Florida, and then they vote the same way that they did in New York when they get to Florida. Yeah, same idea. Texas, certain enclaves or areas in Texas, they do the same thing. Complete logic failure. Why doesn't Freedom Mortgage have to follow banking rules? Red Rider, I don't know specifically how it works on the mortgage side of it, but my guess is they all have to come up to speed with them. Yeah, Al, where do I find a real 1 million for $1? Isn't that a good question? I think everybody's asking that question when they see those rates because many people paid $100 for $1 million or some more. But if you look at the value and how long they have gone, all right, Treebeard, you got to drop it. No. Let's see. My niece lives in the Netherlands. It's really bad. All Western European countries have been overpopulated by unwanted. See, this is just history, guys. No country has ever survived a mass influx of migration. That's just history. It has been more successful when the country is receiving large migration or immigrant populations from like thinking societies. Early United States is a good example of that one, folks, because majority of the folks coming to the U.S. were European. So they had similar belief structures, etc., similar Christianity beliefs, similar, etc. So the cultures that were coming were far more similar than we see in some other countries. So when you look at that, it doesn't cause as much unrest because you have, well, similar beliefs. It's when you have vastly different beliefs that it simply doesn't work or mix. And history is just replete with examples of that. I like that one, Surfer. I heard from another truther I follow. She says she's a conspiracy therapist. I like that one. Instead of a theorist, therapist for all the folks that didn't believe and now do. Dave, any thoughts? How about you folks? Any thoughts on what Trump's supposed to announce today? It's probably going to be a nothing burger. Usually he whips it up and then it's a nothing burger. About time. Thank you for that. I missed it somehow. Pam, it's Color Revolution. Yes, it is. Invade and breed. That's kind of the idea of a caliphate. Let's see. White House meeting, Secretary of State, Secretary of War, Joint Chief Staffs at 5 p.m. yesterday. I wonder what this announcement could be. They're going to have to get Congress if they want to declare war and change Maduro in Venezuela. We know that we have rising tensions again in Taiwan. Well, in the seas off of Taiwan. I'm kind of guessing of what we might be hearing today. Let's see. Where is some of this? Possibly over the Honduras presidential vote that suddenly is just turning the polls on their ears, the counting, and then suddenly everything in the counting has changed. Maybe it has something to do with that one. I'm open for ideas. Let's see, Mark, in your opinion, will you rattle off the specific currencies are correct to purchase? I'm wanting to purchase different currencies other than NAR. Don't know which ones to get. Joshua, none of us know exactly what's going to go well. Don't put money that you can't afford to, have tied up, lost, whatever. My favorites are the Iraqi dinar, the Vietnamese dong, and the Indonesian rupiah. Those are my three favorite, just based on the fundamentals of what goes with them. Lots of other good stuff out there, lots of other cool stuff out there. Those are just the ones that I think have the biggest room to move. In an ideal world, you would have enough money, you could just go buy a bunch of metals and sit on the sideline and watch the whole world go crazy and then exchange them later and you will have done very well. But if you can't, then you got to use leverage. And to me, using a currency that has strong backing in minerals, oil, assets, it's the same idea. It's a way of leveraging. That's my opinion. I have no idea what to tell you on the Bolivar. I have yet to hear anything rational or reasonable. So I don't know what to tell you on the Bolivar. I have plenty because it's in my dark horse list that I think has potential to do exceptionally well. Yeah, I was laughing at that one, 1120 NB. See, Trump's supposed to announce more money for parents with babies for college funds. Announced on Fox last night that he will be making that statement. Yeah, see, that would be a worthwhile statement. Do you know anyone here why banks in Europe are still using SWIFT system? It was said the ISO 20022 would take over after 1122. The ISO 20022 is a new improved version of Swift, supposedly, or Swift, what is it called? Swift ME 2002E. So it could simply be in verbiage or how they're using words. In other words, you may be overthinking it. Yeah, right. Sit on the sidelines with your silver and watch everything go crazy. I'm telling you, GG, if we could all afford to do it, it would be the easiest way. We wouldn't have to worry about when this currency's changing, when that's changing, when some white hat's going to do their thing. You could just sit on the side and just relax and watch it all unfold. But that would be an ideal world, and that's not the world we live in. Love to give my wife an RV for her birthday on the 10th. GR. So let's see if we can make her happen. Raul believes that Maduro has to leave first before we're going to hear about the Bolivar. I wouldn't be surprised. That's part of why I have been really watching the Venezuelan politics. I'm afraid to get too excited about the Bolivar until I see that change. Kind of the same way in Iran, but at this point, I don't think Iran's going to make it. That's why I think it's going to create a tremendous opportunity for us down the road. Mm. Loving watching this. Judy, I'm going to remain patient. God's in control. Yes, he is. Okay, I think it's probably just time to, let's see, do we have? Today's an easy one, guys. We were going to have Lewis today, but he could not make it. We were working on another time to get him in here. We'll have him at least twice in the month of December. Looking forward to having Lewis Herms back. Surfer, I was wondering, all I knew was your wife. So Stacy turning 60. Interesting spelling for it. So we got Tracy, Pearl, Aaron, KMK, Granny, Joe, Mackenzie, and Stacy. Wings Girl, a happy belated birthday. TP, I've been, well, where I missed it. I'm considering getting a little more myself. It's just, do I get a little more silver? Do I get a little more dinar? Do I have enough extra this month to do either? Getting a farm. Oh, wait, no, that's not it. This is the one I was looking for. The Jed Clampett. I'm going to start listening to the ball-headed guys. The guys with hats take too long. I like that, Jed. I like that one. Hey, Brian from Clemens. Wait, where'd I see? It's good to see you, sir. Get down here and visit. There's a good friend of mine. Get down here and visit. If you wanted to buy Bolivar, I don't know. Tammy, anybody in here have thoughts on that one? Yeah, there are some reports that Maduro left Brazil. I don't think they're accurate, though. There's so many rumors out there. You got to filter through them, see what's real. Or wait a day, and then you'll find out. See, somebody else had a belated one. Grows tulips. Let's all Banknote World 100T. I don't know what kind of price they have on them. Go to Matt's Telegram and ask him who his currency dealer is. He gets really good prices. I don't know who it is, though. You'd have to ask him. Somebody said cheap on eBay. The chance of you getting a counterfeit Venezuelan note is slim to non-existent because it is so cheap to buy the real thing. Why would you waste time counterfeiting any of it? So my guess is, or that's my belief, I don't know for certain, is that it would be eBay is probably a good place to buy some. All right, you birthday people. So let me try that one again. So they tell me it's your birthday. Well, happy birthday, darling. May you live, may you love, may all your dreams come true. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to all those celebrating. I see Caleb 21 today. Boy, I remember 20. Kendrick turned 20 in Houston. Can we be that young again? Polly Collie having a 48th wedding anniversary. Tracy, how do you become approved for tier 4? Oh, that was a question that I had gotten from some people. I don't know. Somebody may have put out something about the pre-approved people or the approved. These are folks that have already gone through their KYC. There's nothing you need to do. The process is going to happen while you're at the bank. Some have just already done it because they're in a group, and it all needs to go at once instead of individually. Guys, there's nothing you need to do or worry about on that front. Let's see. If everyone was rich, do you think we'd still have all the evil or more? More. Money or the lack of seems to bring out the best or the worst in people. Gigi, I gladly will in February. I don't want to be that young again. I don't want to be that dumb again. Happy birthday to your daughter, Big 55. Hello, Brett. All right, guys, I'm calling it a wrap there. I will be back this evening with Dr. Jay Caprietta at 7 p.m. Eastern and looking forward to it. Bye, guys.